Oh, just made it right on time. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Tarot for Our Times. And of course, as always, this is for entertainment only. So it wasn't hard to come up with a theme card for today since we've been dealing with all kinds of things with the trial delays and the latest of, no bond, no money. And what this is meaning, a lot of frustration. So first I have to explain what justice, the card justice in reverse means to me. And it has a couple of meanings. The first is that justice will be done, but not necessarily when we want it done, but on the universe's time, which is the big message for that is that at this point, with most of these trials for our former president, is that if you want to see any accountability, you're just going to have to go out and vote for Biden to make sure that he doesn't get back in again, because the trials are not coming to save us. And I'm not the first to say that, but these trials are just not coming to save us. And so now it's a way Justice Reverse is saying it's coming in on my time because you people have to do your part in this. So that's a very big life message. Another the meaning of justice reverse, which we will get to in one of our readings, is that it's kind of like poetic justice or karma kind of a thing. And we're going to get into that with my second reading. But so it's very complex. So some people, when they say that, they say, oh, justice is in reverse. That means justice is not going to be done. So that's not true. That's not really true. Maybe in some spreads, depending on where it falls, it might be true, but it isn't true for this. So as you see on my thumbnail, I did stick a photo of Jack Smith in there, who I know is everybody. He's probably more frustrated than any of us are at this point. So the first thing is what I'm not going to do reads on all of them because many of my colleagues on YouTube have done that already, and I may as time goes on, but I will have to say that all of them, the ones from Australia and the US, have done such a good job on that. I just want to kind of look at them in a more or less of where the energy is right now and what the impact of these delays are and what the universe is trying to say to us with justice in reverse. And this is about this is the question on the universe's time. So time to lower this thing here. Okay. So generally what's going on with us, I think this is a very big life lesson to learn instead of, and I've been seeing the reads on how much Merrick Garland is to blame and this and that, but that's been rehashed with some others. So what I want to do is just the general thing. Okay. So the where we're at now with this is the Princess of Swords. And she's kind of all about, she's a very young female energy, and women are playing such a big part in this. But she's holding the sword of truth, and she's basically saying that this is what's going on now, none of our complaining or, going nuts on social media is going to really change any of this. This is something that we're living with, and we really do need to accept this. So I'm going to see what the energy is crossing that. And oh, interesting, we have her male counterpart in reverse. And both of these are young energies. She's the wiser. I think isn't it funny how it's a female? She's the wiser of all of this. And basically what she's saying is that this is what it is right now. And while there's the energy kind of opposing her, which is the male energy of the Knight of Swords, which is galloping away and saying, let's get this done. Why can't what's with all these delays and this and that? And his lawyers are really abusing the justice system, which is correct. But it's very interesting to see that in this card, never noticed this before. That's what I love about the tarot, is if you look at this, you can see that his horse is ready to gallop right off the cliff. So in a sense, maybe we need to save our blood pressure and our vitriol and not be complaining about these things that are beyond our control. And let's see how we're going to live with this. So this may be more on the personal level. So let's see what's beneath all of this. So we have in the past, we have the Queen of Pentacles. I have to say that my big theme, and she's upright. She's the wise businesswoman. She looks pretty patient to see her garden grow. And the rabbit, of course, is the fertility. So this is about the kind of like the very good person with managing the material world. So I feel like this is a female universal energy saying, everybody calm down. I've got this. We may not realize it yet. So then we have, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And I really, this is kind of like the slowing down of what's going on. This is also another karma card. And I also have to say that I got a very strong hit that this not being able to come up with the 400 whatever million bond for the no one will touch him for the New York fraud case. And so this could very well be Letitia James and other women involved in all these cases saying, you all need to calm down, because this is tightly, this major arcana is tightly connected with the justice. Major arcana says this wheel is going to spin on my time. It's also saying that it is a definite reversal of fortune for the Trump organization, which has been kind of going on a wing and a prayer with a lot of BS, if you know what I mean. So that's what's going on. That this may be a bigger thing than the trial delays, but we're going to get into that in the next reading. And here we have is the Queen of Swords. So I'm going to tell you, we've got the princess over here. This is what she is, all grown up. So the lot of female energy kind of in opposition of this male real impatience thing. So she's holding the sword, and when she's upright, she's very, very careful as to the only wielding it when the time comes. So here she is. And so that sword is going to swing. So what this is telling me is that there's all of this is happening. All these delay tactics have been happening for a reason. And I will say, I've been as troubled as the next person. So I'm just going to put a couple of cards here in the past. The moon. The moon. There's this is telling me there has been a lot of stuff going on that's very kind of all this secretive stuff that we don't know about, that could be coming out, and maybe that a part of justice being in reverse is telling us that there are things that are to be revealed that have been happening in the past. Then we have the our good old Five of Wands, which has come up quite since I've been doing these readings. Has been coming up, and this is the infighting that's been going on in the Republican Party and even in the MAGA movement that is really going to be kind of really tearing apart the organization. So all these couple of forces have been working in the past. What's the possibilities coming up in the future is we have this female figure of prosperity in the Nine of Pentacles. And I'm also saying that there's kind of a phoniness in this card, in that that like a lot of false well, I've been saying follow the money, and here she is with the money. It's kind of like follow the yellow brick road kind of thing. I'm going to put down another card, but that is kind of being trapped in the money, the idea of money, and maybe outward prosperity that may not entirely be real. So then we have the Knight of Wands, young energy moving along pretty fast. I'm going to say that what this is telling me is that once some of these things in the past come up to be revealed, and all of the stalling tactics have been pretty much exhausted, which I believe is starting to happen, is that things are going to really start to move fast. The message is going to really, really be coming out fast. And this is, to me, this Knight of Wands, this card absolutely screams summer. So I'm going to say that in the summer, there could be some surprises and a couple of these trials that even I think there's no way they're going to start on time, like the January 6th and in the documents, that once they get going, they're going to take a life of its own. So the concluding card in this is, here we go again. The Wheel of Fortune, but this time it's upright. So this is going to be right next here to the Knight of Wands, with the message with that fire spreading fast, also saying maybe there might be some wildfires this summer, but that's for another reading. But with the Wheel of Fortune is that once this gets going, karma will be coming fast. And that with these delays, everything is, all the elements will be set in motion. Now, as I say, it won't be every trial, but there may be a surprise or two. I'm going to say one of the ones that even, the lawyers on TV that I really respect are saying that there's no way this is going to start before the election. But the universe, what this is telling me is that the universe is saying, I am saving a couple of the big ones, because you guys have to vote to make sure that they go forward. And I keep having these hits that Aileen Loose Cannon may not end up being there's a I don't say anything absolute, but I keep having a feeling that the 11th Jack Smith and the 11th Circuit is ready to pounce on her for her next false move, because that whole wink and a nod, double jeopardy, why don't you save that for when double jeopardy comes? And I have a feeling that that's really being frowned at, and that I may not be the last straw, but it's really on the edge of the last straw. So don't be surprised. And as I say, I'm not the only reader on YouTube that has been saying that it's very possible that she may be gone. So she's been sort of edging at the line, but so she almost stepped over it. But I think she may be nervous and she may just mess up and be trounced. Anyway, so the latest news, and one of the reasons, aside from a reading going long today, I really had to be following that the bond being denied. And this comes to our second justice in reverse, the impact of the money not given for the bond appeal. That means, if he doesn't have money for that, and he's got that dippity-doo daughter-in-law, who's going to be siphoning every dime that comes in for his legal things. Like, what is that going to do if he doesn't have money for his bond or has anything to put up for it? What is he planning on using for money with the with all of this legal stuff? So it's very interesting. So this is about the justice in reverse, about kind of like the little joking of the irony and the poetic justice of someone who has really touted his riches. And it's kind of like, and that's what I've been saying, is the emperor has no clothes. So this is it's kind of an interesting aspect of follow the money. So what I'm going to say is the impact. What is the impact of what has happened recently, where he doesn't have, they don't want his real estate because of the way he's been all over the map, supposedly valuing that. So they don't, so it's coming down to his businesses. So I do want to take a look at, in the big picture, what is going to be the impact of all of this with the money, that he doesn't have the money, also, and what people have thought about him too. So this could be very interesting. Okay, so we have, the Queen of Swords in reverse. Oh boy, you do not want to mess with this woman. When this queen is in reverse, boy, she is on the warpath. So we have the queen in reverse, and it's almost like, you think of Alice in Wonderland, off with her, and she's off with her heads, all that sort of thing. I mean, she's angry, and she can be really vicious. So I would say that, this is very interesting. I was going to put, various women, prosecutors, judges, whatever, but no, the guides are saying this could be the anger of a women who thought, the female energy, I should say, of women who really thought that he truly was very wealthy, but just being very cagey up to now. I'm going to say very gross disillusion. And men are included in this too, but it's that rage, like, he isn't what I thought he was going to be, so I think I will go out and cheat on him now. Because royalty in reverse does indicate infidelity. And that, my God, he lied to us, so we'll lie to him. This is very interesting here. Okay. So it's crossed with the energy of the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is about living in the past. So I'm going to say in this case that I don't know if it's the hardcore MAGAs, but some people still clinging to the illusion from the past of him being this genius of a businessman. That that there could be a loss. I don't know how significant, but there could be a loss of some voters, and it could also mean that there are people who he still owes money, contractors, all these kinds of people that may have been told they were going to get paid, but they're not. This could also be Melania, who thought, wow, any thoughts I had of securing my son's future are gone. And this is, this could very well be Melania. And I think she could very well blow her Taurus cool. So let's see what we have underneath here. The Four of Rods, which is kind of like the marriage, partnership, and community card in the past. So this is these are the people that like the last of the hanger-oners who really kind of were lost in the illusion that wow, look at this. Well, that even looks like look at the empire that he built and everything that came to fruition. They really, really bought into that. A lot of his followers. I would say I would probably say the Mar-a-Lago and crowd that like really worship him. Kind of like this sort of like nouveau riche. Okay, Chariot. Okay. So then we have the Chariot in the present, which is saying things are moving forward, whether he has the money or not. Things are going to move forward. The campaign is going to move forward. The trials, they may not move forward. Some of them may not move forward until after the election, but kind of like it's all moving. If he doesn't have the money, tough noogies. Sometimes this card, the Chariot, can say it's too late to turn back. So this goes into a whole lot of things like some big buyer's remorse. And then we have the High Priestess. This is also about the revealing of secrets, that sort of thing. So I'm going to tie this back with this Queen of Swords in reverse, which could be so many different things. Disillusion. This is funny because I'm going to say that I'm going to bet that there's a lot of women that are like the Melanias who, married for money, this sort of thing. And then they've got these blowhard husbands, probably supporters of Trump and this and that I bet there's a lot of women tonight looking into their husband's finances. Because so I in readings I've done with people with horrible exes and husbands and that sort of, you wouldn't believe how many of them are kind of like him in a lot of ways. So this tells me that this female energy is spreads out to other women taking a very hard look at their husband's finances and also feeling like, for a smart cookie, I turned out to be really stupid, which is, I'm saying that in this case, this is far reaching as far as the impact on our society in general, and maybe perhaps loss of, aside from the reproductive rights, the gold digger factor of disillusionment that may be playing into this whole thing, where there could be some very strange votes lost. I'm thinking of those women you see on social media that have 80 zillion plastic surgery jobs when their faces and their bodies and all this, wearing these awful expensive clothes, and that lived in that fantasy world. And a lot of them are saying, boy, I better see what my options are, because I can't get any more facelifts. They're not going to do any good. So So probably some of those ladies lounging around the pool at Mar-a-Lago and places like that are going to maybe he's going to lose some of those. So that hadn't occurred to me, but these cards are really interesting. So let's see. In the past, oh, here we go. Oh boy. We've got the Queen of Wands in reverse, and she is quite angry. This was the Queen of Swords. Okay, that was the Queen of Swords. This is the Queen of Wands in reverse. So this is, oh boy, a lot of female anger about he isn't what we thought he was going to be. So this could actually be karma, the karma of a lot of husbands maybe getting cheated on. And it's quite interesting. I was not expecting this to go in that direction, but they may have known for a while, but now the torch is really lit. So there's kind of anger and whoa. I'm going to say, I don't know what it is about money that brings it. This is an Ace of Cups in reverse. So with disillusionment comes some very heavy emotional feelings and also substance abuse. There's, I don't know, I'm getting a very big substance abuse thing that maybe there are a lot of these guys in red hats going into bars tonight when they realize that their God is not what they thought he would be. I don't know if that's going to change that many of them, but I'm going to bet there are going to be a bunch of them drowning their sorrows. Well, this is very strange. So let's see what the possibilities of what will be happening. Okay. Five of Wands in reverse. Now, when we had it upright, it was about infighting, but what sometimes, depending on where it is in the spread, when I see the Five of Wands in reverse, that's pretty much telling me that a lot of inner conflicts. I did not expect this to be like the people really real. It's not like that people are going to be throwing their red hats away en masse, but I'm going to say that there are going to be a lot of people who this is the realization. I mean, they may believe that January 6th was great and that the election was rigged, but I think that that big thing, and it's kind of a masculine thing too, of his masculinity is so tied with money that when that is exposed, his masculinity is threatened, and that kind of spills onto some of his hardcore followers that are they're supporting him. They may even still vote for him, but they're going through this major conflict about he isn't what he told us he was. So what are we going to do? So this is coming up, and then that's why a lot of them will be in the bar drinking tonight. Then we have, in the previous one, we had the Nine of Pentacles, and that she was upright. And this could mean a number of things, like that it kind of goes along with this, that there was so much stock put in his money and his wealth and his, see, and this is like, to me, this is the opulent living without anything behind it to support it. It's smoke and mirrors. It's living on credit and the hope and a dream and all this sort of thing. So I also, as I dig deeply into the MAGA mindset, I know that's kind of a scary place to go, is that, and this is before, his administration. But the thing that there's a certain culture, mostly of white men who not very educated and have not had a lot of options in life, who think that they're soon to be millionaires. They're just temporarily impoverished or middle class or whatever. So I've I've kind of been of the belief that a lot of them saw in someone like a Donald Trump that it was a mirror image of themselves and what they could be, and that they could have those riches and the life and the broads and the this and the that. That's been that I have to say that that may be hitting some psyches. Now, whether we're going to be able to see that or not, apparently, but I'm going to say in the inner life that there have been some illusions that have been major dashed. So then we have the conclusion of, oh boy, you can't make this stuff up. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. Now, this is a card that I have been seeing. We've all, like a lot of us, the King of Cups upright, that's Biden. But a lot of the kings reversed are elements of Trump. And with this one, I have in my in these types of readings, I have seen this as the very corrupt king. That he has come by his very entitled and feels as though it's all coming to him. So what this tells me is that not only have the chickens come home to roost with his corruption, but that again, the whole thing with the pentacles in reverse, it's also about he just doesn't have it. It's just been an illusion that all of this misappropriations and ripping off contractors and the bankruptcies and the misreporting of assets and all this sort of thing, it's like the chickens have come home to roost. So there we have justice in reverse, saying this whole thing is karma, baby. You're going to lose an awful lot with this. And I will have to say, I might pull another card or two. I also have to say that this comes down to a gross amount of arrogance about, and having, it's kind of like tying these two things up, that it does come down to that he's just gotten away with so much, but it seems as though in the civil cases, not really. And his lack of wealth has really, it's really coming to be. And he may have the buildings and the businesses, but first of all, those buildings are all mortgaged to the hilt, which is probably a reason why they don't want to seize those. But it's like that like the dominoes. Once the businesses go, then the properties will go too. When the mortgages can't be paid and people don't want to stay at his resorts in Scotland, he's the golf clubs in Scotland, he's absolute toast. But this whole arrogance and entitlement, and I've got this money, they can't touch me. This is the case where it says, hold on, buddy. You finally got caught. You finally got caught, and people can see that no, you don't have that $500 million in reserve as your mad money to put up a bond to appeal. So I want to pull a card in what he is now. Okay. Yep. Carrying the burdens. He's burdened. He can delay whatever he wants to do, but he's very, very burdened. This is more important than, I have to say, this is more important. Let's see what else. The Seven of Swords. Oh boy. Okay, so in this one, He's just to go out. He's about ready to go out the door with his thievery, but he's got to drop a couple behind because he's been caught. And also, it's important to note he's alone. He is alone in this. I would say that Mike Pence was only the beginning. I think there are going to be others that may be dropping him, which is not going to add to his mental health. But that, again, that's another reading. Then we have the Nine of Swords, which is about not worrying, that sort of thing. Maybe he's that whole thing of him not worrying is that's coming back to get him too. So I think the last card will be the Emperor in reverse. And whether I've done these readings or personal readings, I always hear Danny Kaye in the background singing "The King is in the Altogether. He's altogether as naked as the day that he was born," which is the Hans Christian Andersen's "The Emperor Has No Clothes." That's what this all amounts to. And I think that maybe people are going to be seeing that, and there's that, and I do see they're going to, like, he can afford, they're going to be more donors and people slipping away. This isn't going to be the whole MAGA tie deserting him. But I'm going to say some people in the background who may have been supporting him for their own selfish reasons that have nothing to do with MAGA, he's going to lose them. So I think it really gets back to we have to vote. We have to vote, and we have to vote for Biden. We can't be voting for any of these pie in the sky nut jobs like RFK Jr. We really do have to be voting for Biden. If you want to see those trials go on, you really do need to do that. So for the moment of stench and the stinkeroo, I will have to say that the speech that he gave in Ohio about the bloodbath that he tried to walk back, he tried to walk back and say it was about cars. It really isn't. Glenn Kirshner said that was just another of his code, like "it'll be wild" kind of a thing. And I do have to agree with him. I think he's sending out the message. He's to his brown 21st century brown shirter types, that the January 6th types, that he's sending those codes out. So I want to pull one final card on the stinker, and we have the Lovers in reverse. This is telling me that maybe we don't need any convictions for him to lose those that loved him. And but this is also kind of a that when the lovers are in reverse, it's kind of a predatory thing. So this kind of goes to maybe him. He's a very stalky. He stalks people, this sort of thing. But this is the loss of the love and some partnerships. But also he's also trying to maybe keep people in the fold by his usual dirty tricks, the blackmail and this sort of thing. But I think he's just not going to have the resources to do the digging of the dirt either. So, he's that there are broader implications. But as I say, my final message is we still need to vote. We can't take anything for granted. We still need to vote. So I'm going to end it right here. So, everybody have a nice evening and not only vote, but make little donations and start recruiting your friends to do this because our democratic lives depend on this. I think the one thing that the all of this legal stuff brings out is like the lengths that he will go to. So just keep that in mind and enjoy your evening. Okay, bye now.